Hi everybody, thanks for being here. And this reading here is for Cancer for the 29th of April. And it's about what's going on in your life, those round about you, your interests, friends, family. Alright, so let's just jump straight in. Now we've got the High Priestess here, the Chariot in reverse, and the Two of Swords also in reverse. Now, the High Priestess here is not wanting to give you an easy A. She wants you to put effort into whatever it is that you're doing because she wants you to learn from whatever this experience is. This isn't something that you can coast by on by a few easy answers written in a book. She wants you to get deep down and dirty, get your soil under your fingernails. Because this is all about learning the basics, learning new paths, finding familiarity. And it's about developing your instinct and knowing what's right and what's not. And it's also about finding things out, having a greater insight, looking at the bigger picture here. Now, it's not something that you can have a miraculous answer that jumps out the blue and you know what path you're going to be on, because life very rarely is like that. There's lots of twists and turns, and it's about using the things that you learn as you go along to give you the capability of coping with whatever comes next. And that can only be developed by getting your hands dirty, jumping into the experience. Now, there's no guarantee that the path you choose is one that's going to be set in stone, because the future is mysterious. There's so many different things that, can nudge that path ever so slightly and make things go in a different direction. So your intuition here and your insight and using the wisdom that you gather is key. Let's move on to the Chariot in reverse here. Now, are you feeling out of control because of this experience or the things that you've learned? Do you feel that it's made you pause? Do you maybe feel stuck, that you don't know if you want to take the next step? Or maybe you feel that you just don't know whether to turn right or left. So this is either about not knowing where to go or pulling back in the reins so that you give yourself a little bit more time. Or it could be about not wanting to go in the first place, about not wanting to, move on to a new chapter because you'd rather stay where you are. Let's move on to the Two of Swords here. Now, this is about having an internal struggle. There are things that you've learned that you're having problems with emotionally, mentally. Are you maybe a bit unsure of how to process the information you have? Are you trying to push the things that you've learned to the side because you don't like the answers that you're getting? When it comes to choosing a path between left or right, stay or go, do you maybe not want to make that decision? Are you maybe lying to yourself about the things that you've learned and how they affect you? Now, with these three cards here together, is it possible that you're starting a new chapter in your life, that you're wanting to jump into a new experience? One that is full of emotion, one that you're having to find your way. And you're making mistakes along the way, but every mistake you make is giving you more information, making you wiser. And it could be with the Chariot in reverse here, that you feel totally out of control emotionally. Your intuition and the things that you're learning is overloading, overwhelming. And it could be that, everything is so much to take in that you have to just say, hold on, hold your horses. I need a moment. I don't know which way to turn. I don't know if I want to go now. The things that I've learned from this experience have made me question. And with the Two of Swords then, in reverse, are you maybe unsure of how to process the information that you've learned? Has it made you question whether or not you want to move ahead with your plans? Or are you maybe trying to convince yourself that this is something that you want, even though deep down inside, maybe it's not, or vice versa? The thing is, though, that with whatever experience that you're going through, there is a question of whether or not it's the right path and whether you should go down it. Let's move on to the next section. Now we've got the Nine of Swords in reverse, the Queen of Swords in reverse, and the Hanged Man. Now, with the Nine of Swords in reverse here, has all the information that you've gathered, the information, the emotional mapping that's going on, your intuition, all of the things that you've learned and maybe trying to ignore, are they going round and round in your head? Whenever you try to take a nap, this pops in your head, and it's just something that you can't get out. And then your mind starts spinning with all the facts, and rest just flies away. Is it possible that you're not sleeping? Or you're not sleeping very well? You're not getting the rest that you need? Now that would affect you both emotionally and physically, because if you're not getting the rest that you need, then you're going to be exhausted. You're going to be a little bit less on point. Going to maybe be a little bit bad-tempered, grumpy, because lack of sleep is something that affects your whole system. Could it be that because of that exhaustion, that you try your best to knock yourself out, to find a way that you get the rest that you need? And it could be that whatever it is that you're using, whatever your poison is something that maybe you're overindulging in a little bit. And it's something that, may have an adverse effect in the future. Now let's move on to the next card. We've got the Queen of Swords in reverse here. Now this could be a man or a woman, but let's just say she. She is someone who is thinking about things, constantly trying to find an angle. Something within is driving this person. And what it is that they want is something they're not going to stop until they get. And it could be triggered by something that's happened in their past, some deep disappointment along the way. It could be that the person has decided that there is an emotion there, there is a connection there. But in reality, there may not be. It could be that, you're kidding yourself on. And because there may not be the connection that there should be, or you feel there should be, that's going to make you frustrated. It's going to make you maybe be more manipulative, use more tricks to get the attention that you crave, maybe become more determined to get whatever it is that you want. And with the Hanged Man in reverse here, are you maybe realising that path is not working for you? That maybe taking a step back and looking at the bigger picture, looking at things from a different angle, looking at things from the other person's point of view, may be the best way forward. And it could be that you get to this moment of aha, because things are not going well. You're not getting the answers that you need. So it could be that you're thinking, how can I approach this in a different way? And this is what this card represents, is trying a different way, even though it may be uncomfortable. It may not be the path that you would normally follow. And it could be that you do take a step back. And this could be a moment of learning, self-development. And again, this is also about new beginnings, trying things in a different way. Having to, go down that path of getting your hands dirty again. Feeling your way. Because this is a whole new approach. So, have you maybe not got the answers that you wanted, or are having difficulty in making the decision? It could be that, this is putting a lot of stress and strain on you, that you're not sleeping, that you're, either maybe using alcohol, using sleeping pills, using whatever to excess, possibly, to get the rest that you need, because your mind is just under an onslaught of constant emotions and thoughts about whatever it is that you're going through. And this onslaught could be about, how do I get what I want? Because it doesn't appear to be working. You wouldn't be going through this emotional turmoil if everything was going to plan. Could be that your perception of what's going on may not be as accurate as you think it is. And because you're not getting the answers that you want, your frustration can flare. And that could be the moment where you decide, this path is not working. I need to try a different way. And this is the moment where you begin that journey of finding a different path, of looking at things from different angles. Let's move down to the next section, and we've got the Five of Pentacles in reverse, Judgment in reverse, and the Knight of Cups. Now, with the Five of Pentacles in reverse here, are you ignoring yourself? All of the daily living things that you need to take care of. Feeding yourself, making sure you're fresh and presented well. Doing everyday tasks. Could you be relying on your friends and family to maybe take care of you a little bit more than they should be? Because you're so caught up in trying to figure out the way forward that you're not figuring out what you're doing right now. And it could be with Judgment in reverse here, that you're ignoring what you need yourself. You're putting that on the back burner, because how to get around this problem is your main concern. But is there a possibility that although this does have, the main part of what's going on for you, this experience you're going through just now, but is it also maybe in part about what has happened in the past? Are you maybe having a deja vu? Have you maybe not got over the last experience that seems to be going down the same path as the one that you're on just now? Has all the insecurities and hurts from the last experience jumping back out at you, you being bombarded with all of the thoughts and worries from the last time? Maybe there's a lack of forgiveness still there about the last person. Maybe there's some things that happened that you're not able to forgive yourself about. And that could all be tying in to how you're going about trying to get what you want just now. And with the Knight of Cups here, you really are caught up in the emotion of what's going on. Everything else has been pushed to the side. With the Five of Pentacles in reverse here, you really are relying on your friends and family or other people round about you to pick up the slack on your everyday living, because your focus is the thing that you want, the person that you want, and everything else has been moved to the periphery. Now, in putting these three cards together here, things haven't been going your way. You haven't been taking care of yourself. Maybe you are being, hit with a deja vu that, you feel that you're going down an old path that is just filled with hurts. And it could be that this is a path that you don't want to go down again, because this is something that has, really hurt you. You could be dealing with a lot of emotions from the last experience. But with the Knight of Cups here, it's something that you can't seem to want to stop. You can't help yourself, because this is a heartfelt emotion that is driving you forward. Let's move on to the next section here, and we've got the Death card in reverse, the Page of Pentacles, that's not true, the Five of Cups, where did the Page of Pentacles come from? And the Two of Pentacles in reverse. Now, are you maybe realising that things aren't going your way? Have things seemed to, came to a halt, that you're not making any forward progress here? Do you maybe feel that you're standing on a shaky foundation? and that everything's just going to crumble beneath you at any point? Is this the moment that the hopes and dreams that you've had about this thing, this person, this aim that you have, is this the moment where you begin to lose hope that it may actually happen? And it could be that you're holding on to this dream, these emotions. But the thing is, with the Five of Cups in reverse here, is it maybe triggering you to not only go over in a constant circle of your feelings about what's going on right now, but it's also brought everything from the past to be upfront and personal. Because you could be obsessing about things that have happened, about people that you've lost, about things that, you may have still to let go of. It could be that you hated the way things ended up, the way things turned out. And it could be that your mind is making a lot of unnecessary and unhelpful criticising comments. And you could begin to feel a little bit sorry for yourself about the way things have been in the past and about how they're going just now. And with the Two of Pentacles in reverse here, are you feeling stressed? Are you feeling that, there's too many awkward situations going on? That you're not able to balance all of these tasks and emotions that are going on? Are you maybe starting to jump from one thing to another to try to cover all the bases, but you're maybe just digging a little bit of a hole for yourself? And it's something that you are trying your best to maintain, but you're really not seeing the bigger picture here. You may just be trying to stave off a crisis by giving everybody or everything or every part of your life just a little bit, just enough of a taste, but not really, satisfying anything. Now, with these three cards together, it could be that you're beginning to realise that possibly the thing that you've set your heart on isn't going to happen for you. That this is something that maybe you should begin to let go of. And it could be that, you are thinking that, you're back round in the same circle. You're just going round and round the same path again and again, and you can't get out. And you could be going into crisis mode here, just to try to keep your head above water, because you're overwhelmed by everything that's going on round about you. Now, this truly is, and looking at this whole reading here, a time of discovery, time of self-development, of self-learning, a time where easy answers are not going to be available for you, that you are going to have to dig deep and learn life lessons. It's not going to be easy. And it's something that you will gain from, but it's also something that could hurt a lot along the way. But you will have a great deal of wisdom by the end of everything that you're going to go through. And the thing here is that even though you're going through all of these things, all of these emotions, all of these events, deja vus, is that tomorrow's another day. Add up all the things that you've learned today and add it to the pile of wisdom that you have had from all of the experiences in your life, and begin afresh tomorrow with all of those things stored up. Because tomorrow you don't know what's going to happen. All right, I'm going to leave it there. Now, please take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye, Cancer.